This is part two. What about a worldview that creates atheism and nihilistic consumerism and materialism? You've hit on a fascinating and complex set of ideas that absolutely can form a worldview. While the term religion usually implies a belief in the supernatural or divine being, a worldview doesn't require that. A worldview is simply a comprehensive way of understanding the world and one's place in it. Let's break down a worldview that creates atheism, nihilism, consumerism, and materialism. Atheism as a foundation, core idea. Atheism, at its most basic, is the absence of belief in deities. It doesn't inherently prescribe what to believe, only what not to believe. However, it often serves as a foundational premise for other philosophical positions. Implications for worldview. If there is no God or gods, then certain traditional sources of meaning, purpose, and moral authority are removed. This opens the door for individuals to seek meaning elsewhere or to conclude that there is no inherent meaning. Nihilism as a consequence. Core idea. Nihilism, stemming from the Latin nihil, nothing, is a belief that life is without objective meaning or purpose, value, or intrinsic truth. Connection to atheism. While not all atheists are nihilists, an atheistic worldview can logically lead to nihilism. If there is no divine creator or transcendent purpose, then the universe itself may be seen as indifferent and ultimately meaningless. Human existence, therefore, might be viewed as a fleeting accident without ultimate significance. Types of nihilism. Existential nihilism. Life has no inherent meaning or purpose. Moral nihilism. There are no objective moral values. Right and wrong are subjective human constructs. Cosmic nihilism. The universe itself is without purpose or meaning. Consumerism and materialism as responses. When a worldview is built on atheism and nihilism, and the traditional sources of meaning and purpose are absent, people often look for ways to fill that void. This is where consumerism and materialism can step in. Materialism, philosophical. In philosophy, materialism is the view that reality is entirely composed of matter and that all phenomena, including consciousness and mental processes, are the result of material interactions. This aligns well with an atheistic worldview, as it removes the need for non-physical or spiritual entities. Materialism everyday. In common usage, materialism refers to the tendency to consider material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. Consumerism. This is the idea that increasing the consumption of goods and services is always a desirable goal, and that personal well-being and happiness depend fundamentally on obtaining consumer goods and material possessions. How they become a worldview. Substitute for meaning. If there's no ultimate meaning or spiritual fulfillment in accumulating possessions, experiencing fleeting pleasures, and achieving social status through consumption can become the de facto purpose of life. Happiness is pursued through acquisition. Validation and identity. In a world without inherent value, what you own and what you can consume can become central to your identity and a source of perceived worth. Status symbols, brands, and experiences bought and sold define who you are. Distraction from nihilism. The constant pursuit of new things, the excitement of shopping, and the temporary satisfaction of acquisition can serve as a distraction from the underlying feeling of meaninglessness that nihilism suggests. It's a way to keep busy and feel something in a world that otherwise offers no inherent reason for existence. Practical focus. If life is ultimately meaningless, then the focus shifts to the immediate and tangible. What can be gained, experienced, or enjoyed now becomes paramount, as there is no larger enduring purpose to strive for. In summary, a worldview characterized by atheism, nihilism, consumerism, and materialism would posit no God/supernatural. The universe is purely material and operates by natural laws. No inherent meaning. Life, the universe, and human existence have no objective purpose or value. Subjective morality. Moral rules are human constructs, not divinely ordained or objectively true. Purpose through acquisition. Meaning and happiness are sought primarily through the acquisition of material goods, experiences, and consumer choices. Focus on the tangible. Attention is directed towards physical comfort, possessions, and immediate gratification, as these are the only certainties in an otherwise indifferent cosmos. This type of worldview often faces critiques regarding its potential to lead to anomie, a lack of social cohesion, and environmental degradation due to endless consumption, as well as a sense of emptiness despite material abundance. Right, I'm going to leave that there, and there'll be a part 3 with this bit here. Okay, thanks.